All right. Well, it's right at 9 o'clock, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. Good evening to everyone. This new team. It's January 6th, 2021. I can't believe I'm even saying that. I'm sure that we are all ready for a new year, and I hope that everyone has got some new dreams and some new goals. My name is Debbie Kral. I'm Pro 7, and I'm out of Ocala, Florida. And right now, I'm really grateful to be in Florida, looking at some of these other forecasts. Uh, Incredibly honored to be the very first presenter of this new year. Think Like a Pro is a team effort of 4 people. We have Pro 8 Vandy Flake helping and really doing the technology along with Pro 8 Kai Hayes. We appreciate both of them being able to make this work. And Pro 7, Dr. Jean DeLucia, and myself. So I want to start out tonight and just tell you a little bit about my story, because I think it's pretty relevant to right now and how I'm looking at people, especially the new ones that come in the business. I've been an equine PT for about 45 years. It's coming up on that time, and it also includes being a custom saddle maker. So I was followed a professional level of flat track racing, racehorses, and hunter jumper circuit. So I stayed on the road all the time. That was the big deal of that. Is 10 to 11 months out of the year, you were somewhere that somebody else wanted you to be, but it was my own business, so it was my choice to be there. I'm incredibly grateful to the professional horsemen that I was around and the horses that I was allowed to work on. But 100 hours a week, it was a lifestyle. It wasn't a job. And it took all of my energy. And when it wasn't all about what's right for the horse, that's when I wasn't willing to do the 100 hours a week again. So love the horses, but tired of the business. And that's when a complete stranger walked up to my truck and wanted me to show you something. So never be afraid to do that. Somebody just might be looking for what you have. And of course, it was ABC prime time. And I thought for sure it wasn't real because I didn't know about it. How silly. So I spent about 12 hours, did some research, realized that it was all real. And the next day I signed up as a distributor, not to do the business. I wanted all the product because at that time we only had 2 products, and we had a large volume of the NRF2 product. And I wanted that for the horses and dogs. And 8 years ago when I got involved, we only had those 2 products. And today, to know what our product line is, 21 products, is incredible. And that we're standalone products. So very, very excited that this is what has come about in 8 years. I didn't know anything about network marketing. I was afraid of it. But then I was intrigued when I understood the business model, and that you showed somebody or educated somebody one time, and you continually get paid on it month after month. And I looked at my business that I was in as like most of us, you have to do the job every time to get paid. And so that was just a total novel idea to me, that I actually could get paid on it over and over again, but doing the work once. So when I first got involved, it was I had a 6-figure income, and what I've always done is looked ahead to, when you get hurt, because that industry just requires a lot of injuries. It seems like, not that we ask for them, but even being careful, things happen. So my first goal was to just create about $3,000 a month, and I was going to put it away. So the next time I got hurt or injured, I'd have a little nest egg. Now, how stupid is that when you think like that? I mean, what a crazy idea. Let me make some money so when I get hurt next time. But anyway, that's what I did. And it did hit that goal of $3,000 a month. And that was when I realized this really was real. And by that time, I'd also been introduced to some pretty amazing people in this company that were nothing like the ones that I was around. This is all about helping other people, bringing people together, and trying to do what's right for everyone. So again, that was another novel idea for me, people working together without benefit as far as financially. And most of us, I think the jobs we do, you're usually going to an office, or you're going somewhere, that person that you're sitting right next to you is really that's part of your competition. That's the way I had to look at it as a physical therapist with the horses. We had a lot of them come in, and I had some of the top horses in the world I worked on. They just couldn't wait for me to get hurt, and they could work on them and maybe take my clients. And that's just the way that business goes. This is the way most businesses go. So when you think about that, you're really going to work right next to your competition. That's probably why they're not hoping for your great success. And so that was a whole different slant on it when I looked at this business, I had to just really, everything had to come around. So it was really refreshing to me when I understood that people are striving to help me. And I think I was very grateful when the other people in the Think Like a Pro called me and asked me to be involved with this. We're all cross line, and we hope we're all bringing something different to the table, to all of the different teams. So when I did achieve Pro 7, I was able to retire from doing the traveling. I missed a little bit of it, but not too much. But the reason I bring you that story is an incident happened to me about 13 months ago. And that allowed me to understand really what building residual income was. Because after working every day, you don't go to work and you don't get paid. And having LifeVantage, I can't imagine if I didn't have it in my life, because when that crazy thing happens that we don't ever plan on in life, I went off in an ambulance, had a seizure, MRI. They found an aneurysm that hadn't burst, and they transported me to the trauma center. As it was, I mean, I'm just incredibly fortunate to have great, surgeons, everything. Well, it's just on time. Man upstairs had a lot to do with it, I'm sure, and also the products I've been taking. But I had a very successful brain surgery, capped the aneurysm. They actually had to remove part of my brain. You hear that you don't use most of your brain, and so I guess that's a good thing because I'm still here walking and talking. But the reason I share that story is that LifeVantage has allowed me to back up for 13 months and not do anything. My only job was to heal. I got to sleep as much as I needed. I slept sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. All I had to worry about was the nutrition that I was taking in, because my income was taken care of. And that there's just no way until you have that experience to understand what that's like, that I didn't have to think about that at all. And that's what I wish for each and every one of you guys, is to be in a position to where if you can't work, and we know this past year has really been something for a lot of people, if they can't work, whether it's for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months or 13 months, we have some answers. We have some real gift for some people. But what if you didn't have to get hurt? What if you just wanted to go take a 2 or 3 or 4 month vacation, do something spectacular with your family? It probably doesn't put the screws down to it quite as badly as I had to learn how to do everything over, from writing and talking and, opening a water bottle. But I could focus on those things instead of my income or who I was having to talk to see if I could get some money. It was just handled because of what I built earlier. So I hope each and every one of you never have anything like that happen. But I know everybody, we've kind of heard a lot of stories go across stage where people's lives were changed, and the family could take off. And I know the Bernards got to go to California for months with their son. And we think of the Elams. There's just so many people that I can remember seeing their story and never thinking that was going to happen to me, but it did. So I really pray that you build what you need, no matter what it is. Maybe it's not a Pro 7, maybe it's a Pro 8, maybe a Pro 5 would handle it for you. But I want to talk about that just so we know people. Maybe it's not you, but I know each and every one of us knows someone that last year is touched, that didn't get to work or didn't get to work as long as they needed to, or don't know what their future is. We all know people that need to know about our products, but also the opportunity that could change their life one day too. So I'm excited about that we have something. I was looking for a safety net, and that's what it is for me. So what it is for each one of us, if we want to offer it to someone. And when I was been recovering, there's one thing that I kind of looked at as I look at it a little bit differently today than I did, say a few months ago or a year ago. I've always worked 7 days a week, pretty much. That's what the horse people do. And I had a great work ethic. I was one of those that always wrote my plans down the night before. I knew exactly where I was going the next day. I knew how many minutes I had in each hour to do something with, and I planned for it. So I had a really great work ethic. And then this last 13 months, I was allowed to do nothing if that's what I needed, and that's what I did. And so now as I come back, I go, wow, you don't have any really great habits anymore. I'd had them all my life, so I didn't realize that they were there, and they were, I had to think about them. But I think today, so many times when I talk to a new person that wants to be a distributor, they are working for somebody else who is telling them what time they're going to go to work and when they're going to get off, and if they're what their lunch hour is, and if they're going to get to go to their son's football game, and if they're going to be off on Saturday, and when is their vacation? Is that really going to happen? Somebody else is planning that person's life. And you take a person like that comes to be a distributor, and they go home in the evening, they might not know what to do next. Because I was always like, why don't they just get after it? But that was me. I just always had a very structured life. And I was the one who planned it, most unfortunately, all the time. But there are people that have structured life that their employer planned for them, but they don't have that structure at home. So, I mean, that was a real eyeball opener for me, to go from 13 months of doing nothing to now I'm really struggling with trying to have really good habits again. And so now I understand a little more about maybe what that's like, a distributor coming that has not had real structure at home, that we have to write it down, and we've got to decide which kind of minutes we're going to have in which part of the day. So I really, really understand that. And I've always pushed myself, and I didn't for 13 months. And now I'm having to go back and push and get focused. It is all about my health, yes, but I can work now. I can put different things into my day. And I've found myself going, yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that this afternoon. Well, no, I'll do that today at 2:00, from 2 to 2:20. And so that's the way that I've always been able to work. It's just got to be down on paper. And I realize there's a lot of people today that live on their phones, but paper is, when I can see a schedule for a day, and I can see that there is lots of blank places in it, that means I didn't do very much today. I don't know, the phone doesn't look the same to me that way, but I see this big blank piece of paper. I didn't do what I should have done today. And I see these giant holes that I could have plugged something into it. So you might try that. I think paper is a pretty amazing thing. And then you look at that piece of paper, there's just this all filled up. And to me, that makes me just feel so good that, yes, I did everything I could today. And we know this business isn't all about what you do today, you get paid for tomorrow. As long as your activities are happening, then you will get paid. And it might take a little longer, but as long as those pages are filled up, it will work for you. And that was another thing that's a little bit different. A lot of us are used to, I know I was, I did the work, I handed them the bill, I got paid. And most of us have jobs that are like that. And LifeVantage is not like that. You can, as long as you're doing the work daily, that's the word, daily, continuously, these words that we hear all the time, that's when the magic happens for us. And so if you are somebody that's never had a structured home life, as far as being able to plug something in, decide how many hours or minutes you're going to do this in a week, and then break it down to the day, and then decide which one of those minutes, when does it start? 6, 6:20, 6:40? How long is it going to be? I know I didn't spend a lot of time in front of the TV when I was working, because I just worked all the time. I didn't think I watched very much TV. And then it was odd. I went to an event and I listened to Pro 10, and he said, if you think you don't have time to do something, he didn't say turn off the TV. He said unplug the TV for 30 days. And so that's what I did. I unplugged the TV for 30 days. And it was 3 years before I plugged it back in. And so again, I've had these 13 months. I've watched some TV. I've done some stuff that I don't normally do. Guess what? TV's unplugged right now. It makes a huge difference. So those are just some of the things I think are simple to do. Of course, I hope everybody's doing their goal setting. I get very excited about goals. I've been doing goal setting for about 40 years. And I know my goals are everywhere. They're in the bathroom. They're in my car. It's on my phone. When I used to carry a day runner, it was on the day runner. It's like I see it everywhere. When you make your goals really important, that's what you're going to do. You'll see them everywhere, and it'll remind you if you're doing them or not. So that was something that I needed to get my time management back, was to put stuff in front of me again to remind me of to get after it, but also write down the minute I'm going to start doing that. That was just a really big one for me. Unplug the TV. Yeah, that's a big one. So I hope someone related to some of that. We don't ever know what's fixing to happen. We know that we're in charge right now. We can make it happen. So set some goals, decide what you need. Like I said, my goals changed. I just wanted some extra money when I got hurt. How crazy. Now I don't put myself in those positions to get hurt as much as I used to. And then guess what? Something else crazy happened. I had brain surgery. So just, you've heard it before, dig the well before you're thirsty. And I never tell you what it's like to not have to worry about that. And I think about it every day. I just can't get it in enough people's head to get after this while you can, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. I understand it's difficult to create new habits. That's what I'm having to do right now. I'm struggling. Like I said, I've done some out of the wall things like unplug the TV again. But we're back to goal settings. And this day was just a fantastic day. Who out there got to see the new incentive program? Anybody out there get to see it? Well, I was very, very excited. I love promotions. I love trips. I love to travel. And the last one was at Cancun. So I was very excited. I had no idea that the trip was coming up. And I'm going to just go over a few of the details with it. I hope you guys put it really on your chart. That's another thing that I'm going to have on the mirror and in the car, because I think this trip will be fantastic. For those of you who didn't see it, it is in it's an all-inclusive family resort, much like the one that was in Cancun, but this is going to be in it's going to be on the tip of the Baja California Peninsula in Mexico at the Hyatt Ziva. And I looked it up. You guys get excited. That's what I used to always do on when trips came up, was I'd, go to the website, take a look at what the hotel looked like, how much does it cost to upgrade to, that oceanfront room. Check out the restaurants. There's 7 very unique restaurants: Spanish cuisine, Japanese, French, Italian. They got a beachfront grill, international buffet. Take a look and decide where you want to sit. Just look at that site and say, here's where I want to sit by the ocean. Here's where I want to sit next to the pool. Here's what I want to look at. They're going to include some extra events. I want to go over some of the ways that you can qualify for this. You need 20 points to qualify for the trip. And the one thing that you have to do is sell product. And you're going to get a point for every month that you have 5 enrollees that equal 500 points of volume, just like what we've been doing. Okay, this is going to go from now until the end of June. So from January to end of June, we have 6 months. And 3 of those months, you need to qualify by having 500 in volume and 5 enrollees. And that's what we're supposed to be doing anyway. So that has to happen 3 of those 5 months. And then when you rank advance, you're going to get points. So if you say rank advance to a Pro 3, that's 3 points. If you rank advance to a Pro 4, that's 6 points. And then you're going to get maintenance points. So from a Pro 3 to a Pro 4, you maintain that, you're going to get 5 more points instead of the 3. So you're actually getting more points to maintain, because we know that's hard to do, to be able to maintain that rank. When you maintain a Pro 4 rank, you get 9 points for every month that you do that. Again, we've got 6 months to do this. Pro 5, when you maintain it, that's 12 months. 12 points. And then Pro 6 maintenance is 15 points. So the 2 key things here is you must do 3 out of 6 months with 500 volume with 5 enrollees, and you must be a Pro 4 by the end of June to make the trip. And I think the Pro 4 is maybe going to be the next new what Pro 3 was. I mean, we've got more products, we've got more incentives. We've got a lot of reasons to have higher volume than we used to with a $40 product. So I am past excited about this particular trip. And when you go on your site and take a look at it, spend some time there and really sit and dream again about what it would be like to be there. It's going to be 4 days and 3 nights. It's going to start September 2nd through September 5th. And like I said, it takes 20 points to qualify. Now, if you have more points, each one of those will go up another level. It will include two people with their flights. It'll include some of the other things, like they have some activities. So if you have 20 points, you have the 4 nights and 3 days and airfare for one. You have 25 points, you have the 4 days and 3 nights and airfare for 2. You go to 30 points, you have the 4 day, 3 night and airfare for the 2. And you also have activity. They're going to have some activities for us to do, and that'll include 2 people. And then you get to 35 points, you get that plus the $200 cash, and you get 40 points, you get all of it, and $500 of cash. So I think every single one of us can go. And here it is. Sometimes, you have to pay for a second person. This includes that second person. You can get your flights paid for. And it looks like a fabulous place. And I think we're all really looking forward to getting together. It'll be a very special time. We'll have so many rank advancements because we'll have so many people hitting Pro 4. So I am super excited about this. We've got a few minutes. I don't know if anyone has some questions about that. I'm not saying I'm going to have the answer, but I'll give it a shot.
What was the name of the hotel?
Oh, the Hyatt. Hyatt.
I think it. Okay.
P-I-V-A.
Okay, I've got it on my screen. I'm gonna visualize that.
It looks pretty fantastic. Look at that swimming pool. But I love the beach. It looks like they've got a really nice beachfront grill and snack bar, swim up. So I do love the trips. I've probably won about, not only with LifeVantage, but with some other things that I've done, probably about 35 trips, 7 cars. You can't use 7 cars, but they give you the cash, so you can go make the trip even more fun. But I've always used whatever the promotion is, even when I didn't want it. Somebody would go, "Oh, you already got a car. You need another car." It's like, why not get it and have the money? What's wrong? So even if maybe it was something that I'm not dying to do, which I am, I love being on the beach. Make this something you're going to do. Think about all of us getting together again. Anybody else?
Debbie, Sylvia has a question here on the chat. Do they have a backup in case there is a travel ban?
They did say that they pushed it far enough out in September. They don't believe there's going, but there will be something. And I think another thing that's exciting for us that have been in it for a while, this particular trip is going to be for Canada and North America. And then the other places in Japan, they're going to have about 7 other locations, so that they'll be, close to their home too. It won't be such a travel as, an international travel to come in for 4 days. It'll make it a lot more fun, I think.
And for US, we're going to Cabo San Lucas, right?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
Yeah, I looked it up. It says it's right on the tip of the Baja California Peninsula. I've never been there before, so.
I know, me too.
Has everybody got their vision boards done? You take a picture of print the Hyatt and get it on your vision board. We have 6 months. I mean, that's pretty incredible. I know some of these trips are like, we have 3 months to do it, but we have 6 months to do this. And all of the other promotions and things that are coming up, everybody should really be in high gear. I do believe that this is going to be our year. All right. Well, thank you guys for getting on. I appreciate your time this evening.
I have a question.
Okay.
And thank you, Kai and Vandy for making this happen.
Thank you. That was absolutely great. Somebody just said they have she has
I have a question, if I may.
Sure.
Yes, Debbie, because you're already a Pro 8, already elite, right? So for us, Pro 7. So for us who are just, not in that position yet, can you remind us the struggles or what is the most difficult challenges that you face that, that you were able to go through and you almost, decided that maybe it's not for you, so you can inspire everybody?
Well, I really wanted to do this because I knew I wanted to get out of where I was. It was hard. I was 57 years old when I found this, and to say, okay, I'm just going to go create a 6-figure income. Well, I didn't know anything about network marketing. One of probably the only fear I have in my life is publicly speaking, or speaking in front of 2 people. This is a really challenge for me. But I knew this is something I had to do. I remember the first event I went to wasn't a big, it was like a city event, but there was, a couple hundred people there. And Mark Shinsada was a speaker. And I remember him talking about the person in the front of the room, the one who makes the money. Well, I wanted to get out of where I was, and I was going to have to make a 6-figure income. And I thought, okay, that just can't be true, because I don't want to do that. And I remember standing in line. I had to ask him that question. And everybody, how you go down and everybody's standing. Well, I'm the last person because I'm this shy who doesn't even want to stand in front of anybody. And then as you start walking up the steps, my legs were shaking so bad. I mean, the stage was shaking, and now there's people on it, and I know he could feel it. It was just vibrating, So by the time I got to him, I couldn't even speak either. And I just asked him, I said, is that true? Do you have to stand in front of people? And he just looked at me and he goes, only if you want to be the one making the money. And I was like, oh no. That was a really huge struggle for me, because I don't really like to get in front of people. I don't really like being recognized. I would never, I only took 2 interviews from newspapers and places over all those 40 years about the horses. Nobody had to know who I was. It was okay for me. So to think that I had to get in front of people and speak was past frightening. I can't tell you how bad that was. And some people are just fabulous at it. But the other problem I had was the time, because I did work 100 hours a week, 7 days a week. So I kind of giggle every once in a while when somebody goes, oh, well, I've only got 1 day a week off. It's like, yeah, and you work 40 hours? Are you kidding me? And you can't squish this in? It just means that it isn't important enough to them yet. Because at 100 hours a week, I ran all the time. I was going from barn to barn to barn. And so sometimes my only time to talk to somebody was on the phone while I was driving to the next barn. And a lot of times I was up in the mountains. I'd have to pull off the side of the road. I was fixing to lose a signal. I'd been trying to get in touch with this person all day. And so there was a lot of challenges with trying to squash just any kind of time in. And to think today that we can text people, we can do that maybe at 8 or 9 o'clock at night, where I couldn't do that to a horse person. I couldn't call them at 9 o'clock at night. Heck, they're sleeping. We're all getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So there was times that I'd sleep for 2 hours and have to get up and go do my horse job. And then I'd have like 30 minutes. I'd find a place to just lay down somewhere and sleep for 30 minutes before I could get up and start making some calls again. And maybe I had only 30, 40 minutes of window there before I had to be somewhere else. So I guess that's when I talk about getting a schedule and really figuring out how many minutes you have to do something, because that's the way I had to look at it. I had about 14 minutes to get this done. And 2 minutes of it was going to be parking. And back then we had flip phones, and you couldn't just, Siri dial somebody. You had to actually punch the number in, and we weren't allowed to text. We had to make the phone call. So there are challenges for each and every one of us, but if you want it bad enough, you'll figure a way out. It's there. Each one of us, every elite everybody that's ever hit a rank. I mean, I think Pro 3 is like one of the toughest ranks because you're having to really learn how to do some things you've never done before, probably. Like take rejection. Most of the time we'll hear a rejection and I just go the other way. But every one of us that achieves any status in this company has had some struggles. So thank you for your question.
Thank you so much, Debbie. That was very inspiring for me. Hope for everyone too.
Okay.
Debbie. So I have a question. I live down in Mexico. I have somebody interested that works with horses all the time. And they haven't been able to do very much down here because of the same reason they can't do the same things in the US right now. I think he's involved in rodeos and stuff. Anyway, he's interested in pro tandem, but I'm seeing you and I'm seeing Holly Tomet, and you guys are involved with horses, but you have the pro tandem in the US, and the Mexico pro tandem is not the same. So how can I find out if anybody's done anything with pro tandem in Mexico with the pro tandem that's here? Because the formula is not the
I would not worry about that at all. I know that it is just as effective, if not maybe more. I wouldn't make that a concern at all.
Awesome. Do you have any experience with it, with horses down in Mexico? Do you know?
That I don't know that I know of, but it really doesn't matter whether they're in Mexico or they're in the US. A horse is a horse, and pro tandem works the same as far as it works on a cellular level. We do know that if it's a professional horse, if he's doing a professional job, if he's not getting to walk around outside and eat grass most of his life, because that's what they're designed to do. If they're stuck in a stall and doing a performance, they do better with 2 pills, one in the morning, one at night. And that's because the cell surface is larger than a human.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Debbie, do you have any advice for us on how we can reach out to veterinarians or anyone else, especially if we're not in that industry like you are? I've always wanted to tap in that type of industry, but it's kind of hard penetrating if you're not in there and have the circle of friends who are involved in that industry.
Absolutely, you're right. It is a very cliquey group of people, and getting stuff in front of a veterinarian is just as difficult as getting it in front of a medical professional doctor here. Everybody I knew was in the horse business when I got involved. And I'll tell you what, I don't do a whole lot with the horse world anymore. They are just difficult. And I mean, I know them. You have a lot of other things that you've got to juggle around with. It's like if it is really a professional horse or FEI or horses that are getting tasted or in their racing, there's a huge fear that the horse is going to test for something, because it doesn't have to be a drug to test. I mean, herbs test, lavender test, it'll throw a red flag up. Well, that's enough for them to go, oh no, we can't do that. There's just so many difficult things to deal with the professional horse world. Not to say that if you want to go after them, do, but I really love a soccer mom. I really love meeting somebody that wants to really change their family's lives. They're way easier to train. I'll guarantee you horse people are not coachable. I was not. I wouldn't listen to anything they had to say. First 10 months, I wouldn't do anything that way because I was a horse person and we're different. And that's the attitude they have. And I hate to say that, but that's just the truth.
Well, I needed to hear it because I thought I was going crazy, but when you confirmed it, I makes me feel a little better. I go, okay, it's not me.
No, it's not you. Trust me. They are just hard butt heads. I don't know one other way to say it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Go after the, this is the other thing. We're looking for people that we think would be great at this, but really who we're looking for is who wants this.
Right.
And the average person, I probably would not have had, like I said, it was a stranger that approached me. There would not have been anybody that I knew that would have approached me about this. I did not want another job. I worked 100 hours a week. I was wore out. I couldn't do any more than I was doing. They had no idea that I was looking for something else. But my friends already knew I was tapped out. They would not have come and said, hey, I got a business for you. So just keep looking. You will find them as long as you're looking. It just takes longer than you think. So if you want to speed up the process, then just speed up the number of people you put this in front of, because that's what it's all about, is finding who wants it.
Okay. And I have another question. I remember how tough it was just getting to Pro 3. And I've been told that the 3 biggest ones that are hard to get to is the Pro 3, Pro 5, and Pro 7. And they said the biggest jump is really from 5 to go to 6, because that's double.
Right.
And so I'd like to know, how did you make that bridge from 4 to 5 and then 5 to 6? Because that's where it really, really doubles.
You're right. But it's all about how bad you wanted it. I've got something I've got on my desk here. Number one, when I hit Pro 4, I'd been in the business 7 months. And that month I had another accident. I was pulling a trailer out of Florida, driving to New York in the rain, fishtailed, hit the median going 90 miles an hour, blah, 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 severe concussion and all these things. So I just moved out of the house. I mean, I was on my way. I was 20 minutes down the road when I had that accident. So I'm back at the place I just moved out of, laying in the bed. My eyes are jerking back and forth. They were trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And I had about 10 days left. And I had told myself, I'm making Pro 4 this month. And I was talking backwards, I'd sentence and I'd have it all jumbled up, but I was doing follow up like crazy. I couldn't get out of the bed. So I'm laying in the bed, calling these people, jabbering the wrong way. But you know what? I hit Pro 4 that month. I called enough people that I did it. And I'll just give you, this is my timeline. So I hit Pro 3 and it took me 6 months because I would not listen how you were supposed to do it in the beginning. And then 5 weeks later, I hit Pro 4. 3.5 months later, I hit Pro 5. 6 months later, I hit Pro 6. And 5 months later, I hit Pro 7.
Wow.
But I wanted this so bad. I wanted to be
That's
done with what I was doing, and I had to have the income to leave it. And I knew I could either do it fast or slow. And I just did it as fast as I could. I got to a point where I had to, because I did make, pretty good money doing what I was doing. But I could see the vision of this business and saw how many people we could help and what this was doing for horses, and wanted to be around this quality people. And so I had to start making decisions on not making money, because I would lose about $3,000 and have to pay, say, to go to the Lead Academy. To take that time, I'd take 3 days off, it cost me $3,000. So I had to start making less for a little while until I could, because I just didn't have any more hours in the day. So I hope none of you are doing 100 hours a week. I really do. But just know that anybody can do it if I can. I had 0 skills, can't get in front of people, didn't want to get in front of people, but I wanted this. So you sit down and decide how bad you want it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
There's no magic formula. It's just how many people can you get in front of to find the ones that want it.
I'm just curious in how we do it now, more so with COVID. It's easier in face-to-face, and I was very successful in going to networking events with people I didn't even know and able to talk to them. But now with COVID, you barely can get anybody on there because they've been on the computer all day. They don't want to be on it in the evening or on the weekends, and you're trying to reach them, or they don't even want to get on the phone.
Well, the flip side to that is there's more people than ever that are looking to work from home. A lot of those hours they spent on the computer was looking for what can they do.
Right.
I think it was Brandon Cunningham that I can't remember the number he told me, but it was like Google work from home and see how many millions of hits there are. That's something we've never had before. I mean, before COVID, trying to talk to somebody about work from home, they're like, oh, that's one of those things, you know, you couldn't hardly get it out of your mouth. But today they've already had that terrible experience of having to be home and not having the paycheck, or wondering if they're going to go back to work. And so more people than ever are looking for something to do from home. So I think that's a huge plus for us. And I'm much like you. I was one-on-one with people. That's because I just wasn't used to getting in front of people. I was pretty good one-on-one or one-on-two with people, but that was it. And that's where my comfort zone was. So I just had to learn how to get out of my comfort zone and get on a Zoom meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. All righty, well, we've gone over, and I didn't want to abuse anybody's time here, but thank you everyone for staying on, and just know that every one of you can do it, and know it's not easy, but it is very worth it.